Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, I'm gonna be taking a break talking about Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. I wanted to shift gears into another direction of gaming and talk about the video game Star Citizen. Now, I've been playing that game a little bit recently, and I actually like it. I think it's a solid game. It's a game that I can definitely see myself putting a lot of hours in. But the issue that I'm having with that game is the game being strictly online only. Now, I don't know why that's been an ongoing trend with video games, but I can think of so many different strictly online only games that I've played where the developers are either going to add an offline mode at some point in time, or people have talked on an offline mode needing to be added to the game. But two games I can think of right now where that's the last, I have to say, MMO game where the developers said they're going to add an offline mode, more so because people were complaining about it. You know, you go out and you buy a game, and then after a while, the game gets old, and then newer versions then came out, and then the original one shuts down, but people like the original one because it's different from the other two. But anyways, talking on the two video games, The Crew 2 and The Crew Motorfest. Now, the developers did say that they were going to add an offline mode at some point in time because with the first one, it was strictly an online only game. Why? I don't know. Because I was like, I played that entire game by myself. A lot of them, like MMO type games out there, I usually end up playing them by myself. Like if there are solo missions like Destiny, for an example, that's a strictly online only. Well, it's not like a massive multiplayer game, but it's one of those like, just online only. So maybe I shouldn't be calling it an MMO. But anyways, but them online only video games, usually I play those games by myself. So The Crew 1, The Crew 2, The Crew Motorfest, Destiny, The Division. I'm trying to think of some other like just strictly multiplayer games and stuff. But a lot of the times I usually be playing those games by myself. And the funny thing is like you see that so much where a multiplayer video game comes out, and it's funny because it can either be not so much with PvE, but even you see it too, where it's like they add bots in the game, but no, like those like co-op type games where it's like there's the one game 6 Days in Fallujah where it's like they have it where you can play that game now by yourself. You don't need to have it where there's like, other actual people with you and things. And that's the one thing about it where it's like I've always have said that usually when I play games, like I find myself playing better with friends, because it's like if it's a game that I'm interested in, then it's something where it's like, okay, they can listen to me like I'm the one that's in charge, and it's like I ain't going around telling them what to do, but it's like if they need my help on something, I'm like, I got them. And that's the same way if a friend gets me into one of their video games, it's like, it's the same thing. It's just them telling me this is how this is done, this is how that's done. But usually with my friends, with whatever game that it is that we're playing, we're usually good at it, but it's like there's been times where I've played games with random people and they don't play the game right. It's like they want to do some old shady stuff, and I'm like, okay, you're ruining the experience of the game. So I'm like, there's like numerous reasons I can go over on why I don't like online only games. And I'm going to get to the Star Citizen. But no, I'm like, I need people to hear me out, because people be wanting me to hear them out on why a game don't need an offline mode. I'm like, nah, y'all going to hear me out. And if you don't want to hear me out, then you go on about your business. But anyways, so I just remember the first time I had got into an online only game, it was Destiny 1. And I remember with that game coming out, it was like, because that was like the first time I ever played like an online only game. Like I played games with multiplayer features, but playing a game that's just strictly online, I've never played that before up until Destiny had came out. So anyways, 2014, Destiny comes out. I'm playing it. One issue that I always had with that game was the connecting to the Destiny servers. And then at some point in time, it just shuts you out of the game. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know who plays a game to constantly see that thing pop up, but I'm like, this could have been eliminated if they just added an offline mode. Because I'm like, I'm saying like the majority of the game, I had to say yes to strikes. I played those by myself, or I played it with people. And I'm trying to think. I think there was like one mission that I had to play with another person. But other than that, the majority of the missions, the majority of the game, I usually had played it by myself. And I was hoping that was something that they would add into either of the Destiny games where they added AI teammates, so I wouldn't have to rely on other people, inviting other people, because that's, I remember there was a mission that I did get stuck on in Destiny, and I had to wait for my friends to get online, and I'm like, fam, I'm not trying to wait for them to get online, I'm trying to play the game now, and the friends that I had, because it was like right, Destiny 1 had came out like right after I had graduated, so yeah, my friends, it's like the friends that were the one friend that I was playing the game with, he's still in school. So what, I'm supposed to tell him, oh bro, get out of school so you can help me with this mission? No, that's what I'm saying. It's like people be thinking that it's like a game having AI teammates or an offline mode or private servers that's gonna hurt them. And I'm like, and the reason why I'm talking on this, so the main reason why I'm even talking on this is because I posted about this on Star Citizen's Reddit page. And yeah, it was like people got upset, and I'm thinking to myself, how does me wanting an offline mode have anything to do with you guys? It ain't going to. And the funny thing, I think I did see somebody where they was all like, oh, PCs can't handle stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's because y'all got a crappy PC. My PC is fine. I done played numerous games with offline modes or single player games. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, my PC is fine. I can play the game. I can play Star Citizen. It's just that when they have me in servers where it's like either it's the server is bad or somebody's in the game and they got crappy internet, and it's one of those things where it affects everybody else. Because yes, I remember dealing with stuff like that back when like Call of Duty Black Ops and Modern Warfare like 2 and 3 and things, where people be on the game and they got some crappy internet and then it affects everybody and everybody's lagging. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to deal with that. I spend $40 on a game. I expect to play a game, and then on another thing where it's like, so that was even the whole reason why I even started talking about why Star Citizen needs an offline mode or a private server in the first place, is because, so I go and I try to play the game earlier while I'm streaming, and they're talking about, I gotta wait until after 105 players queue into the game. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you guys didn't wait to take my money, so why should I have to wait until after 105 players queue into the game so I can play a game that I had just bought? And so I go and I post my frustrations, and then it's like people want to flip it on me, and then they get mad because I wanted offline mode in the game, and the thing is this, I'm like, that be the main reason why video games fail, is because the developers listens to those fans, and they're like, oh no, continue having a buggy servered game, continue having it where it's like, oh, nobody gets to enjoy the experience, and it's like they gotta wait. I guarantee, my thing is this, if Star Citizen is already kind of like on a mixed ratings, like you got some, yeah, it's like you got like these core fans where it's like, oh, we're gonna love the game regardless, but it's like there's people that have been playing this game ever since the game came out, and I feel like these are like new fans. These are fans where it's like, yeah, they like the online only games, and it's like, okay, well, I don't. So it's like, at the end of the day, I am going to talk on my frustrations. And if my frustrations is that this game doesn't need to be a strictly online-only game. And it's like, the funny thing is because people, they want to point that out too. I've even seen where other people have talked on that, how Star Citizen needs an offline mode. But it's like, people get upset about that, and it's silly to me. But it's like, yeah, people, they get upset about it. And it's like, I always ask that question. I'm like, what does that have to do with you? It's like, that's even something, I made a video talking about that, because it's like, again, what does it have to do with you? It's just people, I'm telling you, man, it's like I say, y'all gonna be the reason why a video game fails, because I'm like, I ain't seen that so many different times where fans do that. They talk about a game and making it seem like it's the greatest game ever. They did it with Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and look how that game's turning out. I'm like, that game got, and I guarantee and I promise you, if Star Citizen was to get released on Steam in the current state that it's in right now, and I wish that was something that we can see as the actual, because I feel like, yeah, we're just dealing with the yes man fans where it's like, oh, we're gonna say good things about the game and we ain't gonna criticize it, and I'm like, fam, if you guys did actually sit down, take the time to criticize it, maybe I honestly think that if people were a little bit more harder on the developers behind Star Citizen, I think that game would be in a better state. But it's like, you mean to tell me that a game that's been out for 12 years, it's in its pre-alpha stages, not alpha, pre-alpha stages, meaning that right now where this game is currently at, it's pretty much a tech demo. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not how a video game should be. Not after 12 years. 12 years, you better have something. It should have been Star Citizen 1, 2, 3, 4, secondary, one where, or a spinoff, and a fifth one in the works. But you mean to tell me 12 years, you guys is still, and that's something that I keep forgetting to do. It's like, I want to see where the game was at when it very first released, because I'm like, there is no way possible this game 12 years later, this is where it's at right now. Fam, I'm saying, like, and then that's even so when I do queue into a game and I am playing it, that game, it is so buggy, and I'm like, fam, how does a game, and honestly, when you look at like single player games, when you look at games like God of War, for an example, that I had to say that's probably one of the best single player video games out there. But do you see a single player? What am I? And it's funny because somebody was trying to point that out, talking about what MMO game do you know has a offline mode. I'm like, where does it say that Star Citizen is just strictly a MMO game? I'm like, yeah, don't get me wrong, like I do see that in things, but where does it say like, oh, because this game is an MMO game and offline mode or private servers can't be added? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm like, yeah, people be wanting to defend that. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, just because you get a chance of playing the game, that don't mean that everybody else get a chance of playing the game. There's probably people out there that would have liked to have played the game, but they couldn't because of why? Them servers. And so, anyways, but, no, it's like I was doing that. I was looking up games on Steam where it's like they, because I'm trying to think, does Fallout 76... I don't know if Fallout 76 has an offline mode, but I'm pretty sure you name any game out there, online only game, people be playing the game by themselves. And I'm like, with all the other different Fallout games that came out, and then with this one being online only, it's like, yeah, people most likely, if they played all the other Fallout games by themselves, I guarantee and I promise you, people were most likely just playing Fallout 76 with their friends. Yeah, there might be some people out there playing the game with random people, but I'm pretty sure it's like, yeah, if you got a friend of yours that's playing the game, you're playing it with them. You ain't playing it with random people. But anyways, let's see. New games, Delta Force. I know they plan on adding a campaign mode and stuff. But let's see. All right, let's look at top rated games. Rust, that's a game where it's like, yeah, I think you can play that game by yourself. I don't know if you can. I think they got like private servers and stuff in there. If they don't, they should add it. But what are some other games that I played? This Foxhole game, I think I did play that game by myself. There was like as a massive multiplayer online game where thousands of players. I feel like I played that game by myself. I don't feel like I had, the last time I tried to play that game, I think I did play that game by myself. I don't know, but anyways, it's been some time. But what else? They got FIFA on here. Yeah, FIFA, you can play that game. At least the campaign and stuff. DC Universe, I think I played that game a little bit by myself. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of games out there where it's like you can play them by yourself. But I'm like, the thing is this though. It's funny because people are trying to defend it, talking on Star Citizen, but I'm like, okay, like, you know, or just overall how online only games don't need an offline mode. But I'm like, okay, how many times outside of Star Citizen have you played a game where the servers have been buggy and you didn't have to wait after 105 players, if not more, to get into a video game? And I'm like, fam, with all the different, because like I had to say the two games I played a lot of, or two series that I played a lot of, is the Destiny series and the Division series. There has never been any time where I've started that game up and even on days where them games have been on sale, where the games come out with a new DLC or a new update, there has never been a time where I had to wait after 105 players then queued into the game where now it's my turn to play the game now. And I'm like, and I just remember when the same thing was happening with that video game Helldivers, where it's like they didn't have enough servers, I guess, for the people. Look at how that was turning out for the game. And what did they overall do? Why? Because people were criticizing that game. They actually sat down. They was like, okay, we don't want our game to crash and crumble. We don't want it to be a situation like the one video game the day before. So let's start doing something with our game. And just to talk on that game real quick. So for those that don't know what the day before is, the day before was an MMO game, right? And I think, yeah, we can all agree on that. It was probably, if the developers just left the game how it was supposed to be when they were showing it in the trailers and all that stuff, if they had just left it alone, I guarantee and I promise you the day before will probably be one of the biggest games today, all right? But anyways, The day before it gets announced, they make it seem like it's gonna be something like the Division, but with zombies. So I'm like, okay, this game's right up my alley. I'm like, I don't care if this what this game is. This game looks fun. I can get with this game, all right? Like a State of Decay, but like, you know, you get to create a character and all that other. So I'm like, and I'm trying to think. I think that was another game where it's like they had like online features, but it's like you could play that game by yourself too. But anyways, no. So I remember when they announced the day before, and I'm like, oh, this game's gonna be amazing, you know. And it's like if they do have like a single player mode and offline mode, oh, I know this game's gonna be good, all right. So anyways, you know, they are announcing it, they're talking about it, blowing it up, all this other extra stuff. At one point it was the most wishlist game on Steam, and yeah, they did delay it. You know, I think it was either 2 or 3 times, but eventually the game did come out. And that was one issue that people was having, was that they couldn't get into the game and play it. And then when you could get into the game and play, it was buggy. So what overall happened? People start leaving in bad reviews. And I think that's honestly one of the main reasons probably why you don't see Star Citizen on Steam, because they know how critical people can get on a video game. But anyways, so eventually, yeah, the game started just bombing with ratings. I think it was at one point in time, like with the recent ratings and the or reviews and the all reviews, both of them said overwhelmingly negative. So what does that overall mean? That game's not in a good state. And I would have to say the same experience that I had with Star Citizen. Like, yeah, I was able to get into the game and play it, and same with the day before. But I feel like it ain't no different when it comes to overall gaming experience. And I guarantee and I promise you, if they were to ever release Star Citizen on Steam, that game's not going to be in a good ratings. It ain't going to have good ratings. Is most likely going to be either mostly negative or overwhelmingly negative, or very negative and overwhelmingly negative. But it's not going to be no overwhelmingly positive unless those developers, or one developer, whoever it is that's working on the game, actually listens to the fans. And I'm not saying the fans that goes around all across social media just being yes men and not overall talking on your guys' problems, but I'm like, yeah, listen to those fans if you want to. If they got anything that they want to add into the game, okay, then do that. But you have to listen to the fans that went out of their way, used whatever bit of money to buy your guys' game, whether it was the cheaper edition or the most expensive edition, and they didn't have a good experience with the game. Because to me, that's not fair, where it's like there's only one side of the fan base that's getting listened to because they're your guys' yes men. That's not fair to me, where it's like, okay, well, where's my money? If I'm not going to get a gaming experience, you guys can take your game back and give me my money back. So, because I'm like, to me, I just find that very, very unfair, where it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do in the meantime if I can't queue into a game? Wait? And if you think that I'm going to be waiting 2 years to play a game, that's not going to happen. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like in offline mode, because when you look at a lot of the games out there that don't be having no offline, you look at any online game, I guarantee and I promise you people have, because let me just see real quick with Destiny. Because I'm positive, you would name any online only game, and there's been people that have asked for it offline mode. But does Destiny, just because I know people, they always like asking in this form. But anyways, does Destiny 2 have an offline mode? How much is there to do playing solo / offline? And then, yeah, people have asked about that. They were wondering if the game has an offline mode. Okay, so let's see with the Division. Hold on, I forgot to space. The Division 2. The Division 2 is offline. It is offline, huh? Yes, you can solo, of course. But there's all like, what are they talking about? I'm like, you can't play the Division 2 offline? I mean, you can play it by yourself, but you can't play it offline. Sometimes people just be making up crap when I go and look it up, because I'm like, yeah, I've been playing that game ever since it came out, along with the first one. And those are 2 games where I ain't never seen no offline mode for them. I've seen where you can, yeah, like I said, play it by yourself, but yeah, you can't play it offline. But it's like, you name any online game out there, people always ask that question, is there an offline mode? And there ain't nothing wrong with asking that question, you know. And it's like, it's just, there's people out there where they get so upset and butthurt over that crap, and I'm like, how does that affect you? Because if you think that's gonna mess up your PC performance, it ain't the video game adding an offline mode. It's because you got a crappy PC and you're too cheap to go out and buy another one. Go out and buy you a better PC so you don't have to worry about that stuff. But Anyways, because I'm like, I don't even get that. How does adding something, because I feel like that if you're trying to run like a big old giant server versus you not, like, yeah, just you being in your own server, but it's like you're trying to have all these different things going down at the same time in one server, and people got to manage that on their, you would think adding an offline mode will be better for the performance of the gaming PC. So that's why I'm like, man, people, it's something where it's like, I feel like when people, when they be talking on stuff like that, I'm like, did you guys just get into gaming? I'm saying, like, did you guys honestly just get into gaming? I'm about to start roasting people and they be talking about stuff like that, because I'm like, man, it'd be like some illiterate people talking about that stuff, and I'm like, you don't know absolutely nothing about gaming, do you? Because I'm like, if you did, then you would have known that having an offline mode, how is that? And it's like, that's literally how video games was built, where most of the video games from back in the day, and even you see some video games now where it's strictly an offline game, it's a single player game. So that's why I'm like, man, it's the people like that, I ain't even gonna listen to them or hear what they gotta say, because I'm like, you guys don't know nothing about gaming, but then be coming to me thinking that you know something about gaming, and I'm like, yeah, only person I want to talk to and out of all of this is the developers, because I'm like, talking to the fans, I'm like, unless you guys can add it, there ain't no reason for us to be having a conversation right now. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.